Have a drink.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ooh, Vicky. Hello. You're Alice!
So what are we doing this week?
Alice in Wonderland?
And now we apologise for that very hammy intro.
Yes.
Hi! So this week we're clearly talking about The Wizard of Oz.
Clearly.
We're talking about Alice. So,
It's actually quite
enjoying our book. It's really, really good. That's the same copy.
Oh.
We like Alice here. So we are talking about a classic this week, which happens to be one of my all-time favourites. Shall we begin?
Yes.
You're meant to have the tablet, not me.
I know. In the future. Now, good cup of tea, say that much.
That fizzes.
Yeah.
Well, that's technically too good.
Yeah. Okay.
So, we are talking about Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and I'm saying adventures because the first story is called Alice in Wonderland, and the second one is Alice Through the Looking Glass. So,
What?
so anything you can tell me about Lewis Carroll?
Well, he was born in 1852.
And anything you can tell me about Alice? Sorry, it went off again.
Alice was made in 1865. Last one.
And it was based on a real life person that Lewis Carroll knew, called Alice Liddell and her family.
Oh.
He made the story up for her and her sisters,
Yeah.
and then turned it into a full novel, which we have here and there. This is a timeless classic full of nonsense. And one of my favourite quotes is that we're all mad here. Something I lived by. The story is about a little girl in the Victorian times who is sitting with her sister being very bored when she discovers a white rabbit in a waistcoat and a pocket watch running past declaring he is late. She then follows him down the rabbit hole to a myriad of adventures whilst discovering herself along the way, without putting too much spoilers.
It's fiction, I'll tell you that much.
Huh?
It's fiction. Says here. Fiction and stuff like that. And also, she, without any spoilers, she meets someone like... Who am I? Go on. Who am I?
Georgia!
I'm my daughter.
But you're also Georgia.
Yes, I'm also Georgia. Georgia and my daughter.
So, she returns at the end of her adventures in the first book, happy, and tells her sister, who then dreams of going to Wonderland herself. And then in the second book, her cat Dinah has had 2 kittens, and she goes through a glass, just like in the movies that you've seen,
Yes.
into Wonderland again, and has to deal with a whole other myriad of adventures, including the Red Queen and the White Queen. Although in the movies, they're tended to usually be blended into one character. Like the Red Queen's usually blended with the Queen of Hearts. I know in the Tim Burton ones, they don't focus so much on the Queen of Hearts. It's more on the Red Queen and the White Queen from the second one. Although she's actually far less mean in Through the Looking Glass than she's portrayed in the movies.
Yeah.
The White Queen and the Red Queen help Alice with her goal because it's slightly different to the first book. Because she wants to be a queen herself. And then towards the end, the Red Queen and the White Queen are revealed to be people she knows.
I've just been looking on here, and I didn't know this bit. Chapters, there's 12 of them. Didn't know that.
12, you say? Not 13.
No. 13, 12. Do you want me to name you all the characters?
Sure.
Okay, there's Alice, the White Rabbit, the Mouse, the Duck, the Lug, the what now?
The Lorry.
The Lorry, the the Duck, Hat, Bill, the Lizard, Puppy, the Caterpillar, the Duckless, the Cheshire Cat, the Mad Hatter, Queen of Hearts, and the King of Hearts.
As people might know from some of our other videos, George is obsessed with ducks, and when she said duck the first time, she meant dodo, and when she said it the second time, she meant duck. And when she said it the third time, she meant duchess.
Yeah. I'm obsessed with dogs.
I think she just reads D-U and imagines it's a duck, which is odd because dodo begins with a D-O.
Oh. But the Duchess starts with D-U. I'm smart.
The Duchess is D-U-C, it's just missing the K.
Yeah, no.
And in the second one, some of the characters from the first are revisited as slightly different characters. Hatter and Hager, which is Hatter in the chair. The King, obviously. Humpty Dumpty returns. An interesting fact for anyone who's only watched the movies and not read the books, Tweedledee and Tweedledum are not in the first book. They're in Through the Looking Glass. Alice helps them with a slight problem. But too often, people who do not know the story go, oh well, where's Tweedledee and Tweedledum? They're in the second one. But loads of people tend to read this as one book anyway, so they see it as like two halves. So I try to let it slide by saying, that's in the second half of the book, maybe, if they've got a copy like this one. That's just Alice in Wonderland. So,
apparently they did some poems and songs.
yeah.
And one's called Twinkle Twinkle Little
Bat. It's one of my favourites.
I never read that one.
Also, the Jabberwocky.
There isn't any.
It's one of the poems.
And
It's at the beginning of the second book. Lewis Carroll, like so many others, like Roald Dahl, Charles Dickens, Terry Pratchett, C.S. Lewis, was famous for making up his own words that get used. For example, Brillig, Jabberwocky.
yeah. Glasses are falling to the side because it's hot.
So yes, obviously a lot of people grew up with the 1950s Disney film Alice in Wonderland. We have this version of the Cheshire Cat. I myself prefer ones that are more true to the books or give a good adaptation. I don't like the animated one, it is creepy. We also have a book which is, it's called Advice for the Modern Woman, What Would Alice Do? And it is full of quotes from the book, but put to everyday, things you could use for everyday advice, if that makes sense. So, on taking risks, for example. Alice on taking risks. And here we go. Just do it. She had never before seen a rabbit with either a waistcoat pocket or watch to take out of it. And burning with curiosity, she ran across the field after it, and was just in time to see it pop down a large rabbit hole under the hedge. In another moment, down went Alice after it, never once considering how in the world she was to get out again. So they basically thought, Alice can give great advice for a modern woman. And it's really good to the point where I actually love this book so much I keep it in my bag whenever I go out because it's just great to read. So I got it as a Christmas present and I was very, very happy. And obviously we're really obsessed because we're constantly doing things like Alice related stuff.
Yeah.
I think we've got a movie marathon planned soon of different Alice adventures.
Can't wait for that.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, not much.
So I'm just going to close with why I picked this book this week. It is a childhood favourite of mine. Always loved it, and I always encourage anyone who hasn't read it to read it, because I think it's amazing. And I don't know, I think it inspired me to want to be a writer and to read more, and just that it's okay not to be normal, because Alice isn't. So yeah, should we say bye for now?
Bye.